All right, all right. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Dr. Stephanie Ardrey, and I'm the CEO of ZenoVerse Wellness Group. I decided to relaunch and introduce this MasterMind series after realizing the significant amount of market opportunities that have been presented. As we all know, a lot of people were concerned about the election cycle in the US, and this created a number of pauses, I would say, in terms of some activities really around the globe because everyone is thinking about and considering, what each administration proposed as their particular solutions, but more importantly, how, as CEOs or leaders of organizations, one could engage and do so clearly, profitably, and produce their desired outcomes. Some of you who are here today heard me speak last week. I was a guest on Kiti Awadu's LIB radio, and we were discussing, what my thoughts are following now that not only has a new administration been sworn in the U.S., but we're now in Q1 of 2025. And what could we do as entrepreneurs and owners to really plan a path forward? That was, I guess you'd say, the final push to go forward with creating this space. The objective is to have about 30 minutes each Wednesday where we come together. And those of you who have existing businesses, you can put a topic on the floor and be able to get immediate input and feedback on that business. Those of you who are contemplating business ideas and looking to launch, grow, and scale organizations, you too are welcome to bring those ideas forward and put them on the table as well. What it is we have is our first conversation, which is probably one of my favorite conversations, is kind of, it all leads to, in an end, how does one go about properly capitalizing their business? And those who know, I've been on the capital raising journey, which can be daunting. Oftentimes, it's a journey that if you don't have to pursue, many entrepreneurs would avoid pursuing that particular path only because you can really find yourself speaking to so many people, therefore getting so many different opinions and a significant amount of feedback that in some cases applies and in some cases is completely off target. So with those things being said and recognized, I think it's important to really make sure that before you embark upon a capital campaign, that one, you're sure that you've put in place the proper steps, and two, that you really do have a business that necessitates, an initial campaign because you really do have a reason to deploy outside capital as part of either your launch or part of how it is you sustain and or grow the venture that you're looking to launch or have launched. But the way that I think entrepreneurs think about capital is oftentimes you end up going to the market looking for capital either too late or too early. And it's sort of like, I guess you'd say, in the Goldilocks scenario. Too early can be problematic as well as too late because there is a certain process and journey. You want to kind of find yourself in the market at the right time when the capital is there and the capital is ready to be there and the capital is eager to be deployed, and you find yourself in a space and time where they're looking for your particular solution and resources are being allocated in your sector and market. So it's all of those things about timing. So a lot of times, what I find when I'm thinking about how and what capital sources are going to be most appropriate, believe it or not, I began with the business and its particular journey of customers. So, who are your customers? Who are the customers that you're looking to support? And having that inform everything else that you do. And so, what do I mean by that? So, who are your customers? Who are those primary, secondary, and tertiary customers? Your primary customers being that bread and butter, what it is you're providing, those are the folks that absolutely need you and hopefully will be the ones that, when they think of the solution you provide, your company is their first choice. Then you have those secondary customers. They may need you on occasion, yet consistently on occasion, but it might be in a specific relationship to when it is they are triggered to need you. And lastly, that tertiary bucket are customers that may only need you on a rare occasion, and they still need you. So you need to have some efforts in making sure that they're aware that you exist, but they're not necessarily going to be the primary or secondary customers, but who they are businesses or customers that you introduce to your business. And then it's your goal to move them into a primary or secondary relationship with your business. So let me illustrate this a little bit further. So if I were a CPA and I was talking about who these customers might be, my primary customers would be the customers that we manage their accounting and bookkeeping year round. So we're not only looking at the tax filing needs for our clients, but we're also able to be proactive and mitigate taxes by making strategic decisions over the period that we're managing the book. So it might be a calendar period, or it might be a particular fiscal period that has been designated by the organization. So within those periods that we're managing the financials, the fiscal management, we're really able to look at how fluctuation along the business's journey creates either an increased tax liability or creates a reduced tax liability, and more importantly, how to best utilize the resources that that business has available. So we're kind of looking from a real strategic level. We're a CFO acting as the external or internal solution provider for the businesses that we're advising. And so we have a annual engagement with our clients. A secondary bucket of clients would be those clients that are only coming to us to deal with their tax filings. So we're not handling their ongoing account management, fiscal management. We're not necessarily providing strategic insight, but what we are doing is addressing the various filings that the business needs to make throughout its fiscal period to both stay current and again to see where there are opportunities within those filings. The third bucket, that tertiary bucket, are people who may have just received a notification from the IRS that they're being audited. And now with this notification, they need a CPA because a smart person that's being audited recognizes that it's better to send a CPA in to confer with the IRS than going in yourself, unprepared and on the record in those initial conversations when you're just not really sure what the nature of the audit is. A CPA would be better poised to represent you and are able to represent your interests, but also to gather the facts in terms of the nature of the issues that are being evaluated and further explored, so that then you can come back and understand how to properly address the concerns and how to focus the information to satisfy those inquiries. So if I'm a CPA, as much as I don't want to spend the bulk of my advertising on people who are being audited by the IRS, I recognize that that is a good feeder bucket of prospective customers, because if we handle their needs appropriately during their time of crises, then those customers are more than likely to either come back to us for ongoing tax filings, or in the ideal situation, become one of our primary customers where we're handling the fiscal decisions for the organization full time. So that's my kind of illustration of how you would not only distinguish, but how you would monetize your efforts for those three different customer buckets. So when you're thinking about your own business and you're thinking about the customers, you want to think about your customers and their subsegments through the lens of what is the value proposition that you're promising? How is it that you're positioning your business in the marketplace? And with that particular set of proposition and positioning in the marketplace, what does that allow as it relates to how should you resource your organization? What type of capacity do you need to be able to meet the promises that you're offering those particular customers? So if you're offering a solution, or let's use probably two brands that most people are familiar with and understand and would understand their distinction. So I'm the CEO of a retail organization. I'm the CEO of Walmart. And the other CEO is the CEO of, say, Nordstrom's. So we're both CEOs of organizations that participate in a retail environment. And even though we have very similar functional domains across which we allocate our resources, what's distinctly different about how we resource those functions in our organization has everything to do with our customers and the promises that we've made to our customers. So, for example, as a CEO of Walmart, the promise that I've made to my customers is that their dollars are going to go further, and we're going to provide them with outstanding value on the staple items that they might need in their household and to keep their household going. We're going to provide them with the same kind of products that they could pay more for, but we're able to deliver a high value because we buy at a scale that allows us to not only buy products and receive a discount because of our scale, but we're literally able to contract with our manufacturers to build products to our specifications that might be at a more cost-efficient standard to then be able to support our clientele. And because we have a big enough sphere of influence based upon the number of locations, we're able to garner those types of responses with our vendors and our supplier base. And so that's how I'm allocating my resources as CEO of a Walmart. Now, if I'm the CEO of Nordstrom's, again, I have similar functional domains, but back to the value proposition that I'm offering my customers, we're offering our customers an outstanding shopping experience, a high level of touch, and a high level of support, and a high level of service. So, although in the Walmart experience, I might be looking to buy products at scale so that I could offer them at a discount. In a Nordstrom's experience, I'm looking to make sure that I've empowered my sales associates to be able to really handle the needs of our customers at a very high level. And we are able to deliver whatever value those customers are seeking by really being able to not only be trained and prepared, but to understand what resources are available at our disposal to solve any number of customer uh, concerns. So, again, two CEOs, two retail environments, but based upon the value proposition that informs how the resources are allocated and why in those two different environments, resources are allocated differently. So a customer wouldn't walk into a Walmart expecting the level of service that they receive in Nordstrom's, nor would a customer walking in Nordstrom's tolerate the non-service that they would experience in a Walmart. In either environment, to have a customer experience be flipped, both customers would be dissatisfied because it's not the expectation that the particular brand has promised. And so the reason that this is important for your business is none of us are able to be everything to everyone. So when we set up our business, we need to understand who are the customers that we're looking to serve and how do we plan to service them. What segments are we looking to lean into, and what does that mean as it relates to the position of our organization? Because we need to position our business appropriately, and how our business is positioned will inform how that business is received in the marketplace. It'll also inform our pricing strategies and level. It'll inform our promotional strategies and all of those things. So understanding the customers is where we begin, because with that clarity, then we're also able to understand what type of capacity is necessary to support those promises. And once we have those things figured out, then we're really able to begin to put together a capital stack that becomes effective in order to execute on our business plans. So for those of you who will participate, continue to participate in this ongoing weekly mastermind, these are just some of the examples of the topics that we look to address. I know a lot of you didn't necessarily come with a question. Besides this question around, how do you figure out the initial where to begin with ultimately capitalizing the venture? Any venture really begins with those customers. So we're going to spend time speaking about customers, who they are, where they are, how do you capture them? What will their customer journey be with your business? What is the customer acquisition cost that your business will endure? And how is it that you make them sticky? And what's the ultimate lifetime value of those customers? Why is it important to capture them in a particular life cycle and attempt to keep them in your life cycle as your business continues to offer solutions? And so the latter is, if you would to look at a company like Procter and Gamble, for example. Procter and Gamble has built its product portfolio to address the life cycle needs of the baby boomers. And so if you followed from their launch of products following World War II to the current day portfolio of products, you'll see products that have been aimed at the baby boomer generation and what their life cycle needs, from in the beginning, setting up families, establishing households, expanding what those household products would be, extending those product portfolios to include variations of those initial product staples. And then in addition to that, adding new products as the boomers aged and required new products. It's why these days, when you talk about a hip population of 55 plus boomers, you see products like Depends. You see Depends being marketed as a cool product. You see variations on what an old sort of Depends style product used to be, to hip commercials and products with Depend wearers, riding motorcycles, outliving active lifestyles, engaged in life and things of that nature, and continuing. So anyway, it's these types of conversations that I know are beneficial and meaningful for entrepreneurs. And guys, I'm telling you, We have $1 million minimum opportunity on the table if you're starting from ground zero. It's 2025. There are so many opportunities. There's a minimum of $1 million available for you. And if it is you're interested in getting yours, join me each week and I will help you pull back the onion to reveal some of those opportunities, but more importantly, show you how you can execute on those opportunities and grow and scale your business accordingly. So I hope to have you join me again next week. Our time is 5 p.m. Pacific time, and we will record our sessions. Come prepared with your questions, and more importantly, come prepared to know that you will walk away with answers that typically, if you had to book a expert like myself, how I consult with other organizations. These sessions where we develop strategies for businesses either in trouble or strategies for business looking to launch. Strategy sessions begin at $2,500 an hour. So just to spend that kind of time with an entrepreneur, you're getting an opportunity to spend this time initially 30 minutes. We'll spend 30 minutes, and if it is that we need to expand that window, then we'll absolutely revisit those needs and requirements and add more time going forward. Again, for those of you who joined me today, thank you so much for jumping in and sharing your time with me. I look forward to seeing you again next week, Wednesday at 5 p.m. Until then, you can check out this recording. I'm going to make sure that it is displayed on my various social media platforms, and I look forward to continuing our journey. If you'd like to find out more information about myself and my companies, you can go to my website, ZenoVerse, ZenoVerse, wellnessgroup.com. And that's where you can learn more about my wellness resorts. And if you want to find out more about my speaking and training, you can find me at drmoney.live, drmoney.live. And lastly, if you just want to get a little bit more details about my professional qualifications, check me out on LinkedIn. It's at Dr. Stephanie Ardrey on LinkedIn, and you'll get an opportunity to sort of go through some of my profile and get an idea of where and how I have contributed to organizations, some of which you probably already know, many of which have been household famous brands. My early part of my career was solving problems for Fortune 500 companies. So typically, those were the organizations that I supported, and the last 2.5 decades of my journey has included not only advising those companies, but serving as adjunct faculty to major universities. So UCLA, California State Los Angeles Southwest College, and the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising, as well as being a guest speaker at Pepperdine, UC Irvine, Chapman, and a number of other institutions across the country around venture creation. I've participated in startup weekends at both Cal State LA and Los Angeles Southwest College, where we introduced that organization and opportunity in Southwest, the only execution of that program for that community. As well as globally, speaking around the world to audiences, again, around solving business problems and more importantly, building out ecosystems with thriving entrepreneurs. And so with that, I have a social impact initiative where I'm training and developing 10 million entrepreneurs and organic farmers over the next decade. So you'll have an opportunity to tap into all of those areas where We are not only sharing our expertise, but sharing our solutions. And so I look forward to seeing you again next week. And thanks again for joining me today. See you later. Take care, guys.